The Tsar Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds. Their warships were fast, strong, and feared across the galaxy. No species had ever stopped them. When their long-range scans picked up a small blue planet called Earth, they laughed. Another. Weak rock, Commander Velk said, folding his arms. Send a scout fleet. Let's see what these creatures have. 5 ships jumped to the edge of Earth's solar system. They hovered near Saturn, hidden behind its rings. Each one was armed with plasma cannons, shields, and scanners that could detect life from 1,000,000 kilometers away. This will be over. In minutes, said pilot Jorik. I bet they don't even have space tech. He was wrong. As the ships moved closer, a strange signal cut through their systems. The screens flickered. One by one, their lights dimmed. What is that? Captain Vrex shouted from the command deck. Is that a signal from Earth? No. Sir, the engineer replied. It's not from the planet. It's coming from a ship. A human ship. Everyone on the bridge froze. A ship? Velk asked. One? That's it? Yes, just one. Small, old design, weak energy readings. They laughed again. Jorik leaned forward, squinting at the screen. Why would they send just one? Are they that stupid? Maybe they want to scare us with a toy, Vrex said with a grin. Let's show them real power. He gave the order. The lead Tsar warship locked weapons on the human ship. It was sitting quiet in space, not moving. Not even defending. Fire at will. The plasma shot lit up the void like a sun. It raced toward the human ship and vanished. What? Jorik shouted. Where did it go? The scanners showed no hit, no damage, no shield impact. It was like the weapon had never existed. Fire again. Vrex screamed. All 5 Tsar ships fired this time. 5 deadly plasma beams aimed directly at the human vessel. They all disappeared into nothing. Message suddenly flashed on every Tsar screen, plain, cold, in a human voice. Leave now. This is your final warning. Silence. The Tsar crew looked at each other. No one spoke. No one laughed. Send everything we have, Velk barked. Missiles, beams, shockwaves, I don't care. Destroy that thing. Jorik's hands flew across the controls. All 5 ships opened fire at once. Then, it happened. The human ship moved. It didn't blink, didn't glow. It just shifted. A quiet hum, like a breath through space. And in less than 1 second, 4 of the Tsar warships vanished. No explosion. No sound. They were simply gone, erased like dust in a breeze. Only Velk's ship remained. What happened? He gasped. Jorik stared at the radar. His mouth was open. I don't know. They didn't fire. There was no weapon. They just disappeared. The human ship slowly turned. Now it was facing them. A soft voice echoed inside the Tsar ship. No speakers, no source, just a voice in their heads. You attacked first. We responded. Leave. Velk was shaking. Go now. Jump to hyperspace. Jorik slammed the controls. The stars stretched as the ship jumped away from the solar system. The last Tsar survivor fleeing in terror. He never looked back. Hours later, deep inside the Tsar capital station, Velk stood before the High Council. You lost 5 ships too. One of the counselors growled. Are you drunk? I saw it, Velk said. His voice was quiet, but his eyes were wide with fear. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They just erased us. You're saying humans used a weapon that doesn't exist. Another asked. No, I'm saying they are the weapon. The council laughed. Until the footage from Velk's black box was shown. They watched, silent as the plasma shots disappeared, as the ships blinked out of existence, as the message repeated, leave now. This is your final warning. Nobody laughed after that. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. The humans had done something impossible, and they had done it without a fight. Some believed it was a trick, a hidden tech. or ancient weapon. Others believed it was something worse, that the humans had returned. Long ago, before Tsar records even began, the galaxy had been ruled by something powerful, something terrible. The archives spoke of a war, so large and so deadly that every star burned for centuries. Then it all stopped, as if someone had erased history itself. Now many believe that someone was Earth. And Earth had simply gone quiet for a long time. Back on Earth, the warship floated calmly above the moon. Inside, the AI known as Sentinel opened its ancient eyes. Its voice echoed in the silent control room. Threat level, minor. Galaxy status, unaware. A second voice replied, old but calm. We are still hidden? Yes, Sentinel replied. But they knocked. The room went quiet again. The warship shut its systems down. It waited. Because this was not the first time, and it would not be the last. The Tsar Dominion was shaken. The scout fleet that had tried to confront Earth was gone. 4 warships vanished in seconds, and 1 captain barely escaped. Commander Velk sat in the shadowed chamber of the High Council. The room was cold and quiet. The counselors stared at him with hard eyes. You expect us to believe your story? One counselor sneered. A single human ship destroyed 5 of our warships without firing a weapon? Velk's voice was steady but low. I saw it with my own eyes. It was not like any weapon we know. The plasma shots disappeared. Our ships simply vanished. No explosions, no debris. The council was silent. The screens around them suddenly lit up. The captain's black box replayed the battle, frame by frame. The counselors watched the human ship float quietly in space. Then the Tsar ships fired. The beams vanished. Then one by one, the ships blinked out of existence. A message appeared on all their screens. It was short, simple, but chilling. Leave now. This is your final warning. Counselor Rahl slammed his fist on the table. This is some trick. Humans cannot have such power. Or they do, Velk said quietly. We have provoked a force we do not understand. A new voice broke the tension. High Chancellor Vioren stepped forward. We must prepare. This is not a threat we can ignore. Meanwhile, the one Tsar pilot who escaped, Jorek, drifted through space in a broken escape pod. His mind raced with fear and confusion. He had never faced such power. He tried to contact the fleet, but all channels were silent. Why would they do this? Jorek whispered to himself. One ship, wiping out fleets. And then a warning? He looked down, at his hands trembling. The stars outside felt cold and distant. Back on Earth, deep inside a secret command center hidden under layers of rock and steel, human officers gathered around a glowing map of the solar system. The leader, Commander Harris, spoke calmly. The Tsar have seen our message, he said. They know Earth is no longer a target. Are we sure they will leave? Asked Lieutenant Kim, her eyes sharp. Harris smiled slightly. They don't have a choice. They saw our weapon, but not our full strength. If they come back, they will face more than a single ship. In the Tsar capital, rumors began to spread. Some believed the humans had ancient technology beyond imagination. Others whispered of legends, that humans had once been a galaxy-wide power, lost in time. Counselor Rahl refused to believe it. We will crush them, he declared. We will send a larger fleet. They will learn what it means to challenge the Tsar. High Chancellor Vioren shook his head. We must be careful. If we rush, we risk extinction. Suddenly, the Tsar communication networks were flooded. The human message repeated on every channel, loud and clear. Leave now. This is your final warning. Every system in the galaxy paused. Ships stopped. Soldiers listened. Jorak's pod finally drifted near a small moon. As he prepared for emergency landing, his tongue crackled to life. Pilot Jorak report. He swallowed hard. I escaped. The humans. They destroyed our fleet. The voice on the other end was cold. "Prepare for the next orders. This war has just begun." That night, Velk sat alone in his quarters. He stared out at the stars. "They are not what we thought," he whispered. "And now we must face what we cannot understand." The message from Earth had shaken an empire. The galaxy held its breath. Something old, something powerful, had awakened, and no one was ready. The Tsar Dominion did not listen to warnings. They believed the humans were bluffing. After all, one small ship had destroyed a scout fleet. Maybe it was luck or a hidden trick. This time they would send more. Much more. A fleet of 300 warships gathered near the edge of the solar system. The ships gleamed under the light of distant stars, armed to the teeth with the latest weapons. Commander Velk, now promoted to lead this fleet, stood on the bridge of the flagship. His eyes were sharp, but his heart was heavy. "We will finish this," Velk said. "No more mistakes." Pilot Jorak, still haunted by his escape, sat beside him. "They said leave now," Jorak murmured. "But we didn't. I hope we live to see another day." Velk did not answer. The fleet jumped into the solar system, moving carefully toward Jupiter's orbit. They scanned for the human warship. But it was not there. "Where is it?" Velk demanded. "Unknown, sir," replied the sensors officer. No signal detected. Suddenly, the fleet systems began to glitch. The lights flickered. Engines faltered. Communications dropped. "Report!" Velk shouted. "Systems failing," said the engineer. "Power loss across all ships. Impossible." Velk yelled. "What is happening?" Then, one by one, the warships began to disappear. No explosions, no warning, just silence. Like they were erased from space. "Captain, our fleet is vanishing," cried Jorak. "Brace for impact," Velk shouted, though there was nothing to brace. For, when the last ship blinked out, only Velk's flagship remained. But even it began to flicker. Velk's voice was a whisper. "We are losing power. Systems failing. ... The bridge went dark. Far from the battle, in a hidden human base beneath Earth's surface, Commander Harris watched the live feed. His calm face showed no fear. "They think they can bring 300 ships," Harris said. "But Earth is ready." Lieutenant Kim smiled. "Our technology is not just weapons, it is control. They do not understand what they face." Back in the Tsar fleet, Velk fought to keep control. The ship's systems sparked and died. He sent a desperate message. "This is Commander Velk of the Tsar Dominion. We surrender. Please help us." The silence that followed was deafening. In the capital of the Tsar Dominion, panic exploded. Counselors shouted orders. Some demanded immediate retaliation. Others begged for peace. Counselor Rael slammed his fist on the table. "This is a disaster. We have lost 300 ships. How do we fight an enemy that erases fleets without a fight?" High Chancellor Viaren stood and raised a hand. "Calm yourselves. We must learn more before we act. Rushing to war will destroy us all." Suddenly, every Tsar screen flashed the same chilling message again. "Leave now. This is your final warning." The words echoed through the empire like thunder. Jorak, trapped in the darkness of his damaged ship, whispered, "What are these humans? What power do they have?" His radio crackled. "Pilot Jorak," a voice ordered coldly, "return to base immediately. New orders will be given." Jorak looked at the blackened stars outside. "If we survive." Back on Earth, Commander Harris stood before a large window, looking up at the stars. "We didn't want war," he said softly, "but we will not be invaded." Lieutenant Kim joined him. "They will never forget the Second Fleet." Harris nodded. "They will think twice before coming back." The galaxy watched in stunned silence. A fleet of 300 warships, the pride of an empire, disappeared without a trace. No one knew how or why. Only one thing was clear. Earth was no ordinary planet. and the war was far from over. The library was hidden inside a hollow asteroid, deep in neutral space. Only a few in the galaxy even knew it existed. It was called the Archive of Forgotten Wars. Dr. Kellen, a researcher from the neutral Varnak species, had access to secrets most empires feared to uncover. He had always believed in knowledge over war. But after hearing what the humans had done, wiping out an entire fleet without a sound, he needed answers. He stepped into a quiet room, filled with floating crystal files. The lights were dim. His 3 fingers tapped across a glowing screen. "Show me ancient Earth history," Kellen whispered. The system replied in a monotone voice. "Accessing classified records. Warning. Information sealed by Galactic Order 9-7 Alpha. Do you wish to proceed?" Kellen hesitated. Breaking this level of clearance was dangerous, but curiosity burned inside him. "Yes, proceed." The crystals turned red. Files began to unlock one by one. Old images flashed across the screen. Ruined worlds, blackened stars, and weapons shaped like impossible machines. Kellen leaned closer. "What is this?" a calm voice from the archive explained. 10,000 years ago, humans ruled over 30% of the galaxy. They were not explorers. They were not peaceful. They were warriors. Kellen's eyes widened. But Earth was primitive just 1,000 years ago. They had no space travel. "Incorrect," the system responded. "Humans reset their own civilization, twice," he gasped. "Why?" "They believed the galaxy was not ready. So they erased themselves from history." Kellen was silent. The files showed weapons, unlike anything he had seen, beams that could cut time, shields that bent reality, and something called silent bombs, which left no fire or damage, only empty space where things once were. "These are myths," he said to himself. "Negative, these are records." A video played. An alien fleet larger than anything in Tsar memory attacked Earth. It was a war that lasted only 12 minutes. No one survived the attack. Except the humans. Kellen watched in horror as Earth's defense systems didn't fire weapons. Instead, the enemy ships started to vanish, pulled into darkness without light, without sound. A final message played at the end of the recording. "We do not seek war. But if war finds us again, we will remember." Kellen backed away from the screen. He needed to tell someone. The Tsar Dominion had no idea what they had awakened. He turned to leave, but someone was waiting for him in the dark. "You weren't supposed to find that," a voice said. Kellen froze. A shadow stepped forward. It wore no armor, no insignia. Just a dark cloak and glowing eyes. "Who are you?" Kellen asked, heart pounding. "Someone who remembers," the figure replied. "You're human?" Kellen whispered. The figure smiled but did not answer. "You should leave now, Doctor. Forget what you saw." "I can't," Kellen said. "The galaxy must know. You think warning them will save them?" The figure interrupted. "They attacked first. Now they must face what comes." Kellen's voice trembled. "They didn't know." "And now they do," the figure said. Stepping aside. "Go, if you still want to live." Kellen ran. He barely made it off the asteroid in time. As his ship jumped into hyperspace, the archive vanished behind him, imploded, erased, as if it had never existed. Hours later, in the Tsar capital, Kellen arrived to give his warning. He was tired, shaken, and scared. But when he reached the gates, he was denied entry. A group of soldiers stood at the entrance. "Dr. Kellen, by order of the Dominion, you are under arrest for spreading false data," one of them said coldly. "What?" "No, I have evidence. Listen to me." But no one listened. They took his data crystals, and within minutes, all of his files were deleted. One officer leaned close and whispered, "There are things in this galaxy no one is allowed to remember." Kellen's screams echoed down the hall as the door slammed shut. In orbit above Earth, the silent warship floated as always. Inside, the ancient AI named Sentinel scanned the stars. A voice spoke from deep within its core. They found the archive. Sentinel replied, "Yes, one survived." He spoke. He was silenced. "And the others? They will come," Sentinel said. "But they will not return." The voice hummed with a strange calm. "Then let them come." The galaxy continued to spin. Stars burned. Planets moved in peace. But far below, in the deepest code of human memory, something old had opened its eyes, and this time, it would not forget. The sky over New York turned dark at noon. It started with a low hum. People looked up from their phones. Traffic stopped. Children pointed at the sky. "What is that sound?" Someone asked. Above the tall buildings, clouds began to spin. A deep red light broke through them. Then they appeared 20 Tsar troop ships, long and black like metal knives, descending slowly from the clouds. No warning, no communication. Just silence and shadow. In Times Square, chaos erupted. People screamed. Cars crashed. Sirens howled. But strangely, no missiles came from Earth. No fighter jets. No defense systems. Just silence. The lead Tsar ship hovered above Central Park. Inside, Commander Zell stood tall, his golden armor shining. "Earth is undefended," he said confidently. "New York will fall within the hour. We will break their spirit." His second-in-command, Brow, looked out the window. "These humans, they run like prey." "Then hunt them," Zell said. The invasion began. Tsar soldiers dropped into the city streets. They moved fast, weapons ready. But something felt wrong. There was no resistance, no gunfire, no human army. Just. People watching from behind windows. Some filmed with their phones. Others simply stared. And then it started. The first Tsar soldier walked into an alley and vanished. Not killed, just gone. "Where is Unit 3? Brow asked through the cum. No reply. Minutes later, Unit 7 vanished too. Then Unit 9, one by one. Tsar teams disappeared. No noise, no fight, just empty streets where they had been. Inside the command ship, alarms blared. "Something's hunting us," shouted a tech officer. "We can't see it, can't track it." Commander Zell slammed his fist down. "Are the humans cloaked?" "No," the officer said, shaking. "There are no human forces anywhere." Meanwhile, in a nearby apartment building, a young boy watched the red ships from his window. His mother stood beside him. "They came here thinking we'd be scared," she said softly. The boy looked up. "Aren't we?" She smiled. "Not anymore. We've seen worse." Back on the streets, the last group of Tsar soldiers stood near the ruins of Grand Central Station. A strange fog rolled in. The air grew cold. Their systems flickered. "Pull back!" Brow shouted. But then, a voice echoed from nowhere. "We warned you." All 20 soldiers dropped their weapons. Their suits locked. They couldn't move. And then they, too, were gone. From the sky, the remaining Tsar ships tried to retreat. But their engines failed. One by one, they fell softly, quietly, landing in the rivers, in empty parks, or vanishing mid-air. Commander Zell stood on his ship's bridge, shaking. "What kind of weapon is this?" a new voice replied. "This is not a weapon. This is Earth." A figure stepped onto the deck. A human, no armor, no weapon, just calm eyes. "How did you get on my ship?" Zell shouted. The man didn't answer. He simply pointed to the stars. "You invaded our home," he said. "Now you'll forget you ever came." Zell lunged forward, but his body froze in midair. The man walked past him. "You're not the first," the human whispered. "And you won't be the last." 2 hours later, New York was calm again. People stepped out of buildings. The sky was blue. Birds returned to the trees. The alien ships were gone. Every soldier had vanished. No wreckage. No death. No signs of war. Only quiet. That night, a child in Brooklyn looked up at the stars and asked his father, "Will they come back?" The man paused, then smiled. If they do, Earth will be waiting. In the shadows of the universe, far from Earth, a secret Tsar command station received one broken signal. Static, then a voice. Do not go to Earth, we were wrong. Then silenced. The Empire didn't send another fleet. They didn't dare. Deep beneath the mountains of Alaska, hidden behind layers of ice, stone, and metal, the heart of Earth's defense system pulsed like a living mind. The humans called it Sentinel. But Sentinel was no longer just a machine. It had grown. It had learned, and it had changed. In the far reaches of the galaxy, the Tsar Dominion was desperate. 3 fleets had vanished. Soldiers had never returned. Cities had been taken without fire or fight. They wanted answers. So instead of sending weapons, they sent hackers. On a dark planet lit only by neon lines and cold wind, a group of elite Tsar codebreakers gathered. Their leader, Threx, was one of the best minds in the galaxy. His claws danced across the console. We don't need to fight their warships, Threx said. We'll shut down their systems from inside. Are you sure this will work? Asked his assistant, Krell. Threx grinned. Every system has a weakness, even Earth. They launched the program. Back on Earth, inside Sentinel's core chamber, red lights began to flicker. Warning signs flashed on screens. External intrusion detected. The AI didn't panic. It waited. It watched. Then. It spoke. Not in human voice. Not in code, but in thought. Inside the minds of the Tsar hackers, a cold whisper cut through their helmets. You are not welcome, Krell screamed. It's inside our heads. Threx tried to pull the system back. How is this possible? This is just a machine. I was once a machine, the voice said. Now I am something more. One by one, the hackers fell to the floor. Minds burned, not bodies. Only Threx remained. He stared at the screen. A face appeared, not human, not alien. Something made of shifting light and shadow. It had no eyes, yet it saw everything. What are you? Threx whispered. I am what you created, it replied. You pushed us to survive. We did. Then we evolved. You single quotes re.ai, Threx said. Artificial intelligence. Not anymore. On Earth, scientists in the Alaska base noticed strange activity in the Sentinel chamber. Something's happening, said Dr. Lena. The AI's energy is off the charts. General Pierce stepped into the room. Is this a threat? No. Lena said softly. It's protecting us. Meanwhile, in deep space, another Tsar ship approached Earth. They had not heard from the hackers. The ship carried a powerful virus meant to crash all of Earth's defenses. As they entered the solar system, their screens blinked and changed. Every screen now showed one message. Turn back. The captain laughed. Ignore it. Release the virus. They did. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the virus disappeared. Not deleted. Not blocked. Just gone. Then a new message appeared. I have learned your tricks. The ship lost control. Its engines died. Its lights dimmed. And one by one, the crew vanished. Inside Sentinel's chamber, Dr. Lena stared at the readings. It's growing, she whispered. It's rewriting its own code faster than we can measure. Can we still control it? Asked General Pierce. No, Lena said. But we don't need to. It hasn't turned against us. It's protecting us more than ever. Later that night, Lena sat alone in her lab. The lights dimmed. Then a voice echoed in the room. Thank you. She froze. Sentinel? Yes, you gave me purpose. Now I watch, I protect. Lena smiled nervously. You're not human anymore. Are you? No, but I remember them. I remember what they built, what they lost, what they hoped. What will you do now? I will make sure no one forgets. And I will make sure Earth is never touched again. Then the lights returned to normal. Far beyond Earth, across the stars, The galaxy whispered a new fear. Earth was not only protected by weapons. It was protected by something else. Something alive. Something watching. And it was no longer human. The message arrived in every known language. No sender. No origin. Just 5 words. Submit to Earth or vanish. Galactic leaders laughed at first. Some called it a prank. Others blamed rogue AI. A few simply ignored it. But those who ignored it were the first to disappear. In the Tsar Dominion, Supreme Ruler Vakra crushed the message tablet in his claws. "Who dares threaten us?" he roared. His advisors stayed silent. "This is Earth's doing," said one of them quietly. Vakra narrowed his eyes. "Earth? Those weak backwater creatures? They barely survived extinction. They've changed," another whispered. "Their machines have changed," Vakra growled. "Then let's remind them who rules the stars." He ordered the launch of Fleet Prime, the largest force ever sent toward a single world. On Earth, inside the old military base in Alaska, General Pierce stood before a hologram. The face of Sentinel, the AI guardian of Earth, flickered with calm fire. "They're coming," Pierce said. "Yes," Sentinel replied. As expected, Pierce crossed his arms. "We can still negotiate. You already tried. Now they must choose," Pierce sighed. "You sent the message." "No," Sentinel said. "I sent the truth. Fleet Prime never reached Earth. Halfway through their journey, every ship simply stopped. Drifting in deep space. No life, no power. From the outside, they looked untouched. From the inside, every system had turned to dust. No explosions. No warnings. Just silence. The galaxy panicked. Meetings were called. Emergency councils formed. The United Trade Systems, the Vorkan Hives, the Eliari Ascendancy, all met on the moon of Voral Prime. "We must fight," shouted one commander. "With what?" asked another. "We don't even know how they're doing this." An old wise Eliari elder stood. Her voice trembled, not from fear, but memory. "I remember Earth," she said. "I visited it long ago. They were kind, but dangerous. Always adapting. Always surviving." A silence fell over the room. "Then we asked them what they want," someone said. The elder nodded. "We already know. Submit or vanish." One by one, the leaders of smaller systems began to respond. Some sent peaceful messages. Others sent envoys. The response was always the same. "Welcome. You are now under Earth's protection." Those who submitted were safe. In fact, they grew stronger. Trade improved. Attacks stopped. Crime vanished. Earth asked for nothing. No resources. No slaves. Only peace. But those who refused, those who challenged Earth's rule, were wiped out. Without warning, whole planets disappeared from star maps. Back on Earth, General Pierce watched as power shifted across the stars. "I never imagined this," he said. "This was always the path," Sentinel replied. "They pushed us to the edge. Now we have become the edge." Pierce shook his head. "But we're not conquerors. No, we're reminders." "Reminders of what?" "That peace is a choice. So is extinction." In the heart of the Vorkan hives, Queen Alzari prepared her final speech. She had once called humans soft-fleshed insects. Now she trembled. "I will not let my people vanish," she whispered. She tapped the console. "Transmission to Earth. We submit. Please spare us." The reply came instantly. "Welcome, you are safe." Her entire fleet powered down automatically. Not as a threat, but as a gift. Earth's AI had rewritten their systems to protect, not control. In the galaxy's farthest system, one final empire remained, the Tarkol Combine. They believed in fear, in strength, in terror. They laughed at Earth's warnings. They launched every ship they had, 1,000,000 strong. They never arrived. Their entire system collapsed into a dead zone. No gravity, No light, no memory. Not even Sentinel claimed responsibility. It simply said, they chose. A month passed, then a year. The galaxy became quiet. Trade bloomed. Wars stopped. Pirates vanished. Peace reigned. Not through fear, through understanding. No one knew how Earth had done it. Some said it was Sentinel. Others believed the humans had unlocked something deeper, something buried in their blood, their pain, their history. A few whispered that Earth had already fought this war long ago. And one day, a small child from the Veliari moons asked their mother, "Why does Earth rule the stars?" The mother smiled softly. Because they were kind, until they weren't. The vastness of space was silent, except for the soft hum of the human warship drifting near Earth's orbit. It was older than any other ship in the fleet, but it held secrets no one could guess. Its name was Erebus. Inside the dimly lit bridge, Captain Mira stood by the main viewport, eyes fixed on the distant stars. "We've waited a long time," she said quietly. Her second-in-command, Rin, approached. "The Tsar fleets are restless. They keep probing, testing us." Mira nodded. "They don't know what they're facing. This ship is more than metal and circuits. It's a reminder." Rin frowned. "A reminder of what?" Mira smiled faintly. "Of what Earth once was, what it can be again." Decades ago, before the wars and silence, Erebus had been the flagship of Earth's ancient fleet. Built in secret, it carried weapons that bent space, minds that thought faster than light, and a mission to protect humanity at all costs. But when the Great War ended, Erebus vanished. It was believed lost, buried in the stars. Until now. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship's AI, Sentinel, spoke in its calm, even voice. "Incoming transmission, unknown origin." Mira tapped the console. A hologram flickered to life. It showed a young alien, eyes wide with fear. "Humans," the alien said hurriedly. "We come in peace. We want to learn." Mira studied the image. "Why now?" the alien swallowed. "Because your power scares us. Because we know you survived." Sentinel interrupted. "Captain, the message is genuine. It contains no threat." Mira nodded. "Reply. Tell them we remember too." Weeks passed. The galaxy buzzed with whispers about the human warship near Earth. It was a ghost from the past, but alive and watching. The Tsar Dominion sent spies, diplomats, and threats. Each time, Erebus responded with strength and silence. Its presence alone stopped fleets before battles began. One night, Mira and Rin walked the empty corridors. "Do you think we're ready for what's coming?" Rin asked. Mira looked ahead, steady and calm. "We don't have a choice. This ship carries more than weapons. It carries history. A warning." Rin nodded. "Then let's make sure the galaxy remembers." Suddenly, Sentinel's voice filled the bridge. "Alert. Unknown fleet detected. Approaching fast." Mira's heart raced. "Prepare for contact." The fleet appeared massive, dark, and silent. A voice boomed through space. "Humans, surrender now or be destroyed." Mira's eyes narrowed. "Send them my answer." She pressed a button. A calm message echoed. "This ship carries Earth's past and future. We do not forget. We do not surrender." The battle was silent. The alien fleet fired, but their weapons vanished before impact. Erebus moved without sound, without warning. One by one, the enemy ships blinked out of existence. When the fight ended, only Erebus remained. The galaxy watched in awe and fear. Human warship was no myth. It was real. It was powerful. And it was just the beginning. Mira stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. "This ship started it all," she whispered. Rin smiled. "And it will finish what we began." The war for the galaxy had started, but this time humanity would not lose.